Morning. Oh. How is everybody doing? Always happy to be here. Let's see if we can wake up Ty today. With a bit of luck, he would join us in the London session. I think in about 15 minutes or so. He does London itself, of course, not pre-London. Sharing my screen. Let's go over that trade from yesterday and what I should have done differently. This test trade that we took yesterday. Yeah, I got out at opening or before opening somewhere. Or did I get out yesterday? This is 9th, 10th. Ooh. Chart. Uptime. This is why. So I said we would hit 1995. So we missed it by, I believe I said this, with 2 points or something like that, or 5 points. I was 5 points off for full TP. Looking back at this, that was a 4-hour play, a very beautiful trade. Not one time coming back. I managed to get 1.6 out of this trade. Looking back at this trade, actually I should have put a bit more than a half hour inside here for the start. My wife told me that I was too conservative with the money. I needed to risk a bit more. And looking back at this, actually I should have agreed. At least putting a half hour risk every time we trade is the minimum that we should keep doing. So I went out when I told everybody to take some profit. I believe that was at this high. I said in the Discord to take some profit off the table at least. I hope you all made some profits off this trade from yesterday. So here that was a 3.5, something like this. When I said time to take off. First time I mentioned when we came back here and we made the next rally up, I said first TP will be very soon. I held through it. Once we came back, I closed the trade completely. I did not let this flush get back to us. Now, zooming out to this trade, actually, we can see that we still are in need of liquidity. Okay, maybe it's a bigger range at this point, but still, at this point, we are doing sideways movements. Look. We're actually now just moving from left to right, constantly up and down. So it's building up liquidity to make actually a bigger move. This is what Bitcoin did too for a very long time, and now it has started expanding. So we see these movements over and over again in the market. In the afternoon, I did not take anything big. I wanted to take the short actually down, but top step, or better said bulenox, did not work at that point, so we had no screen here. And after that, with the next 5 minutes, we already were halfway this movement, and my target would have been the first down here. And then that 1 hour for value gap that I shown you yesterday, and the 15-minute and a 4 hour for value gap that was here. And actually, that were played out beautiful to take a long from. I did not take that one either, so, but looking back at it, that was a beautiful reference point. What I expected actually to happen when the pre-orb dropped below, I said yesterday that I had no clear view where the market would have gone, except of this 1 hour for value gap performance under this liquidity that was here from that bigger drop from the day before. For today, let's take a look. We did sweep some liquidity here. I'll clear the drawings for a second. So here we swept liquidity, equal lows, nicely swept. Gelukkig.
Af en toe, ja. Der er speciale muligheder. Det var en dygtig natur.
If we go up, first major point that I would look for is this 4 hour FEG just above. See how we react. If we can push through it, of course, these highs would be the next target. If we go down, the only thing that I still can see is these two liquidities are here, and this lower part of this for value gap has not been filled up yet. I hope my mic was on today. Okay, yes. Otherwise, I've been speaking again for the whole session without anybody noticing. Oh. Yesterday was my mic wasn't on when I was when I started. I was showing the charts, and everybody was setting in chat from no mic, but yeah. I was so focused that I didn't even notice that my mic wasn't on. I would prefer longs for today again, but if we do have a decrease, that's fine too. I will follow what the market gives us, of course. I always do. And afterwards, I will look for reference points where we can go to. Monday will be no stream for me. I got my plane at the same time of the openings, or almost at the same time, so I believe I will not be here. I got my plane at 11 or something like that, so it will be very short for me to be able to be here and to get my plane and time to get back to Belgium then. So no stream on Mondays. or I have to get up very early and take the cab to the airport and then stream from there off. I use the one from 7 a.m. That's pre-orb that I take, actually. Yesterday it didn't play out the pre-orb, but the orb itself did play out nicely, so we jumped in. And actually that re-entry that I took was actually a perfect moment. Even looking back at this trade from yesterday, and once we had that pullback from that hourly, where was that yesterday? Way too far back. So this was 9. We came in, we went up, and then we had some retracement. Even in this, we had a very beautiful re-entry that you could have added again for then the continuation. Oh, sorry, wrong chart. That was here. That was the channel. So here we had a beautiful retracement, a beautiful place to re-add to that trade, to then have that continuation. And it was actually an hourly gaming back into a fair value gap. Where is it? Yeah, that was this one. Came back into that 9 o'clock fair value gap that we had, and then it actually continued to the first high. Do we have some news today before I start? Better take a look. We do. Anybody knows who Panetas is? I have no idea who this person is again. So you will see in my logbook also that there is one trade that's open. This was a 15-hour trade. I'm not locking this one into my... I didn't play this on my funded, just to pass in my evils. So I passed 3 immediately on this one, but I did not lock it. It's just in the text. So if you see this one standing here without a number, it's because it would change the numbers of my R collection, and I don't want that. Thank you for sharing. Still have no idea who it is. Mr. Fabio Pineta, member of executive board of the ECB, European Central Bank. Some banker, yeah. Thank you for sharing. No, I did not do that on a news event. Actually, that was on the opening event, so I just knew that we were going to draw to that all-time high liquidity. So here, so the draw was this high, and I entered on. This was 3 o'clock opening, 3:30 opening, and I actually entered directly a stop just below, and I entered on NQ. I just let it run to all-time high. But because of the whole day was already moving upwards, we took a nice profit first before that day, and I just re-entered on opening candle. It was just a very clear draw up. So you don't need a news event to actually do this. You just need to move from 60 to 70 points. That's all. Well, I did sell an all-time high. I completely closed everything. Why didn't you mean short it afterwards? I don't. I don't put a stop then. I just let it ride. But I don't call it a trade too, so it's more an inside feeling. So it has no reference point actually. So it's a risky play. So this is why I don't lock it. It wouldn't count as a fair trade, so it wouldn't count of anything in my books except of knowledge where liquidity is and where the market wants to go to. The market could just have easily went back down, and then I would just have given two times or three times 15 euros to the market. But it's the same with the news play, so you also have only a 50-50% chance of winning it. So it's like flipping a coin. If you say the market goes up and you're right, you get your passing. If it's not, you don't get it. But I actually don't like doing this because it messes up sometimes. It doesn't give me a clear mindset afterwards. This is why I don't log those trades. I don't. I do want to put them in so that you guys know, but it wouldn't be fair putting there 15R why I actually didn't collect it on my fundeds. But if you never have passed a normal evaluation or a test in a normal way just by collecting R's to get there, I would recommend 100% to just try it the first time normal ways, or at least the first 3 times until you have the feeling for it. And also let your brain not adapt to price movement if there is any price on the table, because actually we pay $15 for these for these passings. So it's like it's actually in Belgium you can't do anything with $15. We have 2 beers here in Belgium for $15. So it's actually you can't do much with that here. So we're now actually inside two ranges. That's this is actually a place I don't like to be to start with. First of all, we have small fair value gaps just above, and we have a few just below, and a 5 minute. Yeah, if we go down, we will take out all of this. If we go up, the first idea would be look how we react of this last 15-minute fair value gap. These were stacked, so If we can take that out, we will take out these equal highs here, or as good as equal highs. So got about 3 more minutes. Let me go over that one. So yesterday's trade, let me take the 5. Back to that trade. Here was, I believe, this one. Yeah. So I said we were gonna wait. So we entered on this candle. I said that we put our stops. I'm not sure. Did I put it here or here? I know that we entered on this candle when it breached. Wil er een stopje onder zetten? Onder die wick? Of was het onder die candle? Onder de wick hebben we gezet. Hester?
dacht die stond zo.
Onder de wick, hè?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we put it here. Actually, the best place to add was this one. Again. I re-added it here one more time after this liquidity came. After this wick came back down and I saw us continue, I added here one more time and I added here one more time. And afterwards, I said we were gonna hit TP1. I closed half on TP1, or I closed a part on TP1, and I closed everything up here, just a bit below. I wanted to see if we could hit. I left one up to run. I wanted to see if we could hit that all-time high. What I wanted to see was 95, something like that. So we did not hit that one. It was about 5 points off, and I closed when I saw we weren't gonna hit it. And that was a breach that we have now. So we got about 20 seconds. Let's see what this brings. I've seen that somebody said something, but give me a minute. I'm watching the chart. I'll respond in a minute. To take it, but I don't like it. If you come above here, I'll enter full position. Let's see if we have any for value gaps inside still. I did not take the time to look yet. It looks like don't have any. I don't see any for value gaps inside yet. We do have a small gap here, so I'll keep it where it is. I don't like this small thingy here that we just like jumped over. If we come above the high and we continue, I'll enter the rest. I keep it on 2 now. We will see. First point of interest would be here. and this fair value gap just above. If we have a nice movement up, yeah. That's 1, 2, 3, so nice trade. The reason why I'm a bit conservative is because we're just very close to the 4-hour value gap just above here. And at this point, we're still doing this. Second of all is these candles down are getting quite big too, so we still have some liquidity here. And if they do want to take it before moving further up to the all-time high, I want to be sure. And again, we're in London trading, so if we have a good trade, this can take us up to at least 3 to 4 hours. It's been like this for a few times already, so remember this always. London is slow movement. But a long expansion. Well, let me take a look at the chat. Morning, Ty. I'm in a half position. Yeah, it's because I don't see clear range movement. First of all, there's some for value gaps just above. We are moving up, but we came already halfway back from this down movement, so a small retracement is always possible. I will see if London decides to join us. Now we have a very nice movement up. Oh, that's a small sleep for you. 4 a.m. It was fully mechanical. So I just entered almost every trade. There were a few I didn't take because the position didn't look good at all. But I took 90% of them, or 59% of them. Yeah, how many hours difference is that from your time zone normally, Ty? So first of all, here we can see why I took a half position. We were actually between for value gaps, and I don't like to be inside of a range. If this 5-minute close is under here, I'll take one contract off even. Sutta has some jet lag. Te vieren van, dat is een bad. Om de tijdverschil. So this next minute closes under here. I'll definitely take first one off. 7 seconds. 5. Taking one off. Hey, dat is done.
Ik had nog één ingezet.
Like I said, I didn't like this gap. First of all, we were inside 2 gaps, so keeping it what we made yesterday, making sure that we keep the profits. And it's Friday, so it's always happy to end in green week. I don't scalp actually. New York session is also most of the time I play ORP or ILMs out of New York session. With aligned with the bigger time frames. So that I look at the 1 hour, the 4 hours. Those are my guidelines for where the 15-minute goes. And I entered on base of those. Let the rest include.
Want die heb ik al gehad. Ik heb daar nu stukken die ik al gehad heb. Ze hebben wel een andere titel, maar het is eigenlijk hetzelfde als dit.
Well, I'm also streaming on YouTube, people. So if you can't see, if nobody is sharing, I'm also streaming here. Otherwise, somebody please just share the screen. Always happy to help out somebody. So Ty agrees. So, like I said, if we get above those equal highs just above us, that we should add completely. So this area is exactly what a 15-minute AMA is. The great thing about trading is once you see actually all these gaps and you actually know where markets are going or want to go to, you always go a bit more prepared. And we actually all see the same. In about 20 minutes, we will know what the market actually wants to do. This will be our stop, I believe. Als ik er dicht in. Als ik het keer dat speciaal, hè.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, I'm in along at this point. Yeah, I start. Thank you, Blake, for sharing. Can you rephrase that, Lewis? I'm guessing you lead with the smallest account, right? Might you have might have starting to do this number so that don't look exciting and can be more mechanical. I don't 100% understand the question or on bulenox. No, they're not 10k yet. I actually started on bulenox with all of you, so I'm now on 3. I actually have one. I actually already have one spare here. I believe I started. Where did I start somewhere? I believe around June 24th or something like that. I started on bulenox because I couldn't get in my top step accounts anymore. The reason why I'm conservative today and putting less in is because we were inside of 2 ranges. So you can see if we zoom out a little bit. First of all, the down candles are way bigger than the upper points. We did tap now for value gap of the 1 hour, but this candle did not come back into this previous one. So if we do tap these, I prefer this 1 hour candle to jump back into it. Second of all, if we zoom into the 15 minutes, we were having for value gaps below and above. We did not close any candle yet above protected stop. So if we do close above here, there is a huge possibility that we go to that upper 15 minutes, but we have below us just the same. So we are actually inside of 2 ranges. So it's not easy then to book a full size if we are actually inside 2 ranges. Once we close above a certain height, I'll just add to my trades again because then I'm 100% sure the trade goes with us. This is why I reduced some risk at certain points too. The stop of my orb range is if there are fair value gaps inside of this orb range, I always take the low under the wick. The reason why I took this low now is because there was a gap here. Actually, if you see this happening and there are gaps here, most of the time the market just comes and fill them up directly. In about 13 minutes, we have London open. We will see then if London prefers to join us, yes or no. But Asia had a very big sweep, so this was actually one big candle down. So retracement into this move down is 100% possible. But then I normally take the 50% range of this retracement to be, and actually look, we're on top of this 50% range, and then it has not as easy to go above it. If we do breach above it, that means that we are continuing higher. If we don't, That means it still needs some more liquidity, and then the draw will be this 4-hour FEG that's not completely filled yet. This is how I look at this market. If I was a clear draw up, I would have entered the full hour, of course, or starting with a half hour and then adding to my trades once they have a small retracement. There wasn't an FEG. There was just a gap here, this small thingy. So if you zoom in on the 15 minutes on my charts, I see here these candles do not align with each other. So if I see this, I always take this body's, at least the body of the candle where the gap is made from. So this is why I put it down here. I didn't actually see any fair value gaps. There was one created here, but it was filled up completely. This was that gap. There was another one here, a small one. So I do look at these two. I did reduce risk once we hit 50% of the range. This is if you look in my trading journal, how we get low stops and bigger profits. So once I see the trade that goes my direction that I want it, we can always add to that position. What's the concept behind the gap? Actually, I have no idea. I just seen it playing out too many times. Every time we have such a gap, that it just fills up immediately almost after it. So I actually have no idea why these gaps are created. Maybe it's because of bulenox or topstep X, or the X has a small time delay and it didn't measure it completely. I have no idea if we see this on TradingView too. But I always take my charts where I also trade on, so I don't look at any other chart of the one that I trade on. So we have one here too, smaller one. The reason why I don't take 50% of the orb range is also I'm in live testing this in my stats of just taking the orb. I only done this on the last 100 trades. I adjusted my stop, but on my lives, I actually knew if our value gaps are inside, it gives me a 30% more chance of getting a good trade with a little bit less profit. But if you have 30% more chance of getting a good trade, that means that you increase a lot more. Yeah, of course. I know somebody was here yesterday that's joining us in London. Is he still here today in the stream? Yeah, exactly. It's more like a magnet that it wants to fill it up, and then the market decides what it wants to do. So as trader, do know it's not our job to predict what the market will do. Our job is one thing, is to follow a plan over and over again until it's very boring, but just makes you a lot of money. So we're not here to make up new ways to trade markets. We're just to follow what works. The only thing that we can do is protect our capital or make sure if we have wins that we have bigger wins than not wins. Waarom heb je maar eentje ingezet? Omdat het niet voelde. Zij beu. Heb die andere manieren. Hoe ga je nou vloedstrijder worden? Nou, ziek worden. Oh, excuse me. Didn't remember my mic was still on. So this journal is actually from everything I took almost live with you and on these accounts now. So my art collection on my other funds, it doesn't actually matter how much my R's are. You just have to see it as your own value, how much you put into an R. But normally, yes. I put 200 in. It depends on which account, how big is the account. So I scale up with accounts. So if we start with a buffer of 2K, and you have a $200 R collection, that means that you actually have 10% per account. So 1 R is 200 here. Once I get to 4K as buffer, 1 R changes for me and then goes to 300. Once I get to 5K, I make 1 R 400 and so on, so on. So I reduce the amount of percentage I take out of it. So it doesn't stay the same. It reduces constantly, but my R collection increases. This is how I actually do it. And as long as I'm not above 4K, I keep it on 200. Anything more, it increases and just keeps going up. But for these accounts where I'm now on, it's still 200. Okay, so if I add to my contracts, I actually do not always move my stop. My max not profit is 2R, so I do let trades go down to 2 minus 2R sometimes if they do not. If I still see that the market does what I need to be doing, so I tape return along the way, and the market keeps doing what it needs to be doing, I'm perfectly fine. I will not close my trade as long as it does not go under 2R. And yeah, sometimes it's exciting, but most of the time I wait until we have a retracement and then a continuation back above some form of highs that I wanted to see breach, and then I just add to that position. I believe I shared that one yesterday here in the group. If you zoom up a bit, yeah, this one. So this is how I add. Oh, wrong one. So this is open, and we are still in our range. So it's a big possibility of market sweeps and wants to go lower. Can you show me Euro USD chart in futures? I don't trade Euro dollar. So this is Euro dollar, I believe. Oof. If we go lower, one more sweep to this 4-hour FEG and then a move up. So we are losing value from the euro is losing value. We will at least come to this low. Then we will see what happens. We have a lot more to go. So weekly. Oh, we're in a weekly for value gap. So this one actually will decide what we will do. As long as we stay above the 1.5, we're still moving up. So the dollar is still losing its value. So I'll mark out also London's trade or London's orb. See what it brings. If London decides to continue and move up higher, Well, we have a big possibility that the market will continue higher. But we had a strong reaction of this 5-minute fair value gap. We filled it up completely. We did not sweep those highs. Are they the same? Yeah, so these are equal highs, so they will get swept. But maybe not before we get, not before it takes some form of liquidity lower. Yeah, it is opening too, so we just let it do its thing. If you watch the 15-minute, it's actually still okay, this candle. If you watch the hourly, we actually are an inside ranging momentum. So if you are feeling uncomfortable sometimes by looking at charts and some emotion comes up, just zoom out and let it and watch it on a higher time frame. Because on the 15-minute, it actually looks still okay. And then again, always be happy in how much you put into the market. This is something you actually need to see from what I put into the market is something I'm willing to give to the market. I'll always be happy with that. Remember, even if you have a funded account, that's only still a $200 account. So we're trading with $49. We're actually trading with 2K and we only paid 200 for it. So every time you actually have a 1 hour here and gave 1 hour back to the market, you actually gave $20 of that amount that you actually were putting into the market. So keep remembering yourself that. So it's only $20 per trade. So this is 50. So that's like the fourth of it. So that's like $5 trade that you make. So if this is our stop, it will be that way. So if you're trading this with a live market, you will already get stopped out here. This is spread, 100% sure. Okay, that was a tap. First of all, log. So that was a minus 70. Let me log this first. Minus 200 divided by So minus 3.9, 0.39. Time that we were in here. 11:25 and 12:05. So this was still the top. Phoenix. UTC -7 I use for my journal. Because if you watch the movie, that was from the journal itself. So if you go to your journal, you do welcome. I watched guide for using this Google Sheet. So I watched this one, and he said on this time zone that we had to use the -7. Somebody shown me how to change it yet, but I have not, and then I need to change exactly all my trades too. So in about 5 minutes we have our range for London's orb. Let's see what this one brings. I can still take another half our trade. Zoiets. Superman beaver. I'm actually not looking for anything. I'm just being patient what the market will bring us. I only surf the wave of the markets. I don't want to predict the markets. If we do go lower, first hit would be all of this liquidity, of course. But I can't wait for the next 10 minutes anyway, so I need to be patient. For the ones that have been here in the stream a few times with me, they always know that I most of the time don't take a second trade. We have Friday. How does this weekly candle look like? So in about 50 seconds we have our range, and then we still need a 5-minute breakout to see where the market wants to go. So again, a nice protection of our funds by decreasing as a contract. I actually could have closed the complete position. 10 seconds until we have that range. So same for Orp and London session. If we have a huge fair value gap inside, I would take the top part of that range. If it's drawing for liquidity, it will definitely draw for these two liquidities here down here. Especially the first one. Maybe the second one, it will leave it. I don't think that's possible to take yet. I think this is, it's a 1 hour. So I'll wait for another 15 minutes and see what happens. If we do take a shot, if we do take one more trade, it will be what the market gives us, of course.
Moet hier hebben. Zo.
Niet, dat was het, hè? Dat was zoiets.
Hard, sneller.
Kun je aanpassen? Uitdrukkelijk, hoe die dingetjes. The only thing I don't like about this is that we are actually inside Asia range. We're completely inside it. So actually we can't have any ILM. For a good ILM, you need actually time-based liquidity being taken. If you read price, actually we swept, we came down, we made it for value gaps. We came in them, we did not take out the high, we came back down. We tapped it one more time and we continued lower. So there is a big possibility that we continue lower from here. Same for this 15-minute, huge 15-minute going down. Now it's in this small area here. I just tapped, so plus there were equal lows here that were taken. So this will be a reference point if we do move further up. It needs those liquidities too. Was that a breach? No, no close. Or maybe, yeah. It was maybe a small close, but then I was unable to see. It was a half tick, so that's no close for me. If you want to enter it, you can. Short, but I want to see actually a close. You all know the model if we're from an orb. Oof, a 50-point stop. Dat is best wel een grote range. This is actually a big range even for London, 50 points. Okay, even if we trade lower now, I will not re-enter. I want to see a sweep from some form of liquidity before entering in. We still have the afternoon session. If you want to take the orb, you can, of course. We just closed. I would put actually you should put your stop all the way up to the highs, but then you only got like a 0.7, 0.8, maybe 1 point, 1 art collection to take. I'm not gonna enter this. I feel like I'm forcing, so I will not do that for a Friday. I want to have a nice weekend. So anybody that wants to short, you can, of course. I will not be taking this anymore. I will start packing in a minute or two instead. That will be it for me for today. Yeah, I believe so too. The afternoon session would be a great momentum again. Know that Asia has made a huge move, and now actually we're in London, so I see us maximum going down to these lows here, and then we could have a nice reaction off of it. But for now, I don't actually feel it that we want to go very further under, so I will not take it. So I wish you all a very great session for today. Mondays will be no stream, so I'll be back on Tuesday. We're having a plane back from London to Belgium. Wish you all a very great day. Happy weekend for all. See you all on Tuesday.